Okay, my name is Brian, Canyon Concrete Coatings. We specialize in epoxy flooring, metallics, quartz, garages. We also do some sealing.
What were some of the challenges that you were facing before you partnered with us?
We were trying to just keep the schedule full, trying to keep guys working every day. We were booked out before, really just kind of week to week. And now we're booked out about a month. I'm pretty much making contact daily with somebody from this marketing we're using. I can attribute close to half our business from these ads.
That's
So
awesome. There's a lot of different marketing options. So what made you decide to go with us?
it was mostly you. Honestly, I spoke with several different companies. I was a little bit apprehensive. It's scary. You don't know who's legit, who's not. Everybody's promising the same results. And I carefully chose you.
Can you tell me a little bit about the quality of leads that you get and the kind of jobs that you've been getting from our campaign?
I've gotten a lot of people who are serious, have the money to complete the project. So they've been pretty good. Most of them have been strong. I would say everybody who's been serious, I've been able to close probably 60% of them. Obviously, there's competition out there. We're not the cheapest guys in town.
Is there some kind of measurable result that you see since starting with us?
Oh yeah, we're at a point now where there are a lot more days than not where we're on at least two jobs a day versus where we were at two or three jobs a week. This week there were a few days we were at three different jobs each day.
Is it still just one crew, Brian, or you have more, you've hired
Right
more?
now it's still just one crew, but that's been part of the plan. What I'm doing is focusing on next year. I'm going to start a second crew next year. My target date is March 1st, and I want to increase by a crew each year for 3 years.
What are the things that you're doing on the phone and at these in-person appointments that you're able to be booking the amount of jobs you've been booking?
The biggest part is probably contacting them immediately. The other part is constant communication. I think it's also important to actually go out to the site and look at it. It's a lot harder for somebody to tell you no to your face. I think being upfront with your pricing. My son works with me. He's 23 and he knows as much about it as I do, but he has a harder time closing. And I just think it's age. But I think the biggest part really is actually just showing up and being willing to go out there and do it. It's not always easy to do that. I understand. I've put almost 50,000 miles on my truck since January.
How do you handle, or can you tell me an example, like when somebody says the last guy was $1 a square foot cheaper or $500 cheaper or whatever the objection is? How do you approach that? Or is there some kind of story you could share where you were able to approach it and actually get them still to hire you, even though you were more expensive?
Oh yeah, it happens. It happens all the time. Is when somebody comes in and they're way underneath, way below me. I usually tell them they're sacrificing either on product or there's something they're not doing right. For example, I had a pool deck that I did the other day, and one guy came in and he told them that he was putting a moisture barrier and everything down at $5 a foot. And I was like, you're losing money. So either he's not really going to put a moisture barrier down on top of it, or they're not carrying the right insurances. And I let them know that we are fully covered with everything. If a guy gets hurt, they're coming after workman's comp, not after the homeowner. And also, we don't sacrifice on product, and I'm not willing to sacrifice on the product. I let them know that we have a quality standard that's going to be met. And if you want to go for the cheapest guy in town, that's your prerogative, but I'm not going to sacrifice on my product to do that. And a lot of people really seem to go for that. They just feel that I'm honest with them, and that's what gets me the sale.
Is there one moment that you can describe when you partnered with us where you felt like, okay, I think this is actually working for me, and I actually think that this is the right move that I made here?
Yeah, there is. I called you one day and I was stressing a little bit, and you're like, You know what? Just let it flow out. Let's get some recognition." And then it was literally probably the next day that I get four leads and close them all. And I'm like, I think this is working. And it's funny because I can remember the driveway I was sitting in front of. We were doing a big job, and I'm like, I gotta leave and go give 4 more bids today. So that day, I'm like, okay, yeah, it is starting to work. And then now it's just on autopilot. I get a pretty strong lead almost every day now.
Great.
Sometimes two
Excellent.
or three in the same day.
What would you tell another concrete coating company who is considering working with us?
I would say that you guys are legitimate. You're always willing to help and listen and take feedback. You get back to me pretty quick usually. I'm a pretty impatient person a lot of times, but I call you, and I don't think it's ever been more than a half hour that you haven't gotten back to me. And you haven't been bullshitting me. That's what it comes down to. It's you back up your product and it works. I'm happy. That's what it comes down to. I'm happy with your service. I haven't felt like you don't do what you promised to do. Obviously, you cannot predict every number, but you don't try to do that. You don't sit here and guarantee me you're going to get 50 leads a week like all these other people. I guess that's more of what I like about working with you is you're more realistic on how these things are going to work. And so far, you've been right.